Hey family, are you hungry? Well, let's ring the dinner bell. So people always ask me about the desserts that I make. So I'm not that great of a baker, but there is a dessert that I love, 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 and that is lemon meringue pie. Now the way I make lemon meringue pie is kind of the way my mom has always made it. Now most people will make it with that traditional flaky crust, and they do like that jello kind of consistency and then a beautiful meringue. Well, my mom made her lemon meringue pie more how people call, I guess what it's an icebox pie, or it's a little bit more along the lines of a key lime pie, but with lemon. So what we have is a base of sweetened condensed milk. We have 4 eggs that have been separated, yolks versus the egg whites. We're going to use the yolks for the custard part. We're going to use the egg whites for our meringue. And then today I'm going to try something a little different with our meringue. I'm going to use powdered sugar instead of granulated sugar. So I've got my oven preheated to 350, and I've got the juice of 2 lemons. I've got some cream of tartar that we're going to use for the meringue. I've also got some vanilla that we're going to use for the meringue. So like I said, my mom always makes it this way, and I always love it. And we usually use a graham cracker crust, but to save some time, and because I am trying to cut back on calories and all that stuff, because quarantine hit me hard. I'm down 15 pounds, but I probably have another 10 to 15 to go. So I'm going to actually make itty bitty baby lemon meringue pies, and so we've got some pre-made graham cracker crust in the little mini tins. So we're going to get started, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 egg yolks, and then we're going to take our can of sweetened condensed milk. Now, for the longest time, all my mom ever used was Eagle Brand's milk, but I have found that you can use just about any brand. And I kind of switched over to the fat-free version. It's still really, really good because I'm a sugar fiend and I care more about the sugar than I care about the fat. So we're going to cut our calories that way. So we're just going to add our eggs and our custard, or our sweetened condensed milk, and you can just kind of burst the yolks into the milk and then blend them really well. This is the easiest pie ever, which is why I make it. I don't do well with cakes. I'm not good with measuring dry measurements and having the right ratio of things, and I just don't have the patience for all that. Now I can doctor up a box cake mix and some frosting like nobody's business. You'll think it was a homemade cake, but my pies are the best. So I thought we'd do a dessert episode today. So we're just blending the egg yolk and the milk, the sweetened condensed milk, until it's really uniform. And now we're going to add our lemon juice. And like I said, I used the juice of about 2 lemons. And what I did was I kind of rolled the lemons around just to kind of break them up and burst them so that the juice would be easier to collect. And then I also used some of the lemon pulp. And it looks like we've got a stray seed. So we're going to take that out. And you definitely want to make sure that you have no lemon seeds in your juice. And I used a little bit of the pulp, and then I also did a little bit of lemon zest. Now most people are wondering, what's the lemon zest? You have to make sure that you wash your lemons really, really well if you're going to use the lemon zest, because that's actually the rind, and it just provides a little bit more zing to it. And you just use that little fine side of your grater to get the zest and put that in. Now I've kind of blended it, and you'll see, I've just kind of blended the ingredients, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mixer to actually blend this a little better, for a little bit more consistency. And now that it's all nice and consistent, we're going to pop these right on out. Then we're going to just fill our little mini crusts with our pie filling. Now this is usually enough to make a full-size lemon meringue pie, so I might have some extra left over. But we're just going to fill these. These are so cute, little baby meringue pies. Now, of course, I'm not going to eat these all by myself, but I could. But again, the reason I'm trying to do more like individual size things and kind of eat smaller portions is because I do want to get my weight under control. Plus, it's better for you if you just do things in moderation. So I'm really trying to retrain myself with my eating habits. And I always believe in, you know, indulging in the things that you like, because I find that if I try to diet, you know, with all these restrictions, oops, let's try not to mess up our floor. But if I diet with like too many restrictions, I'll end up feeling deprived and I'll end up cheating on my program. So I do want to taste this just a little bit to see how it came out. Now I often call this my lemon meringue pie because I think food should make you dance a little. So this is really good. The 2 lemons worked out perfectly. It's just the right amount of tart. As you can tell, just the right amount of tart, but then we're going to sweeten that meringue. It's going to be a really good combination. And of course, it's a little bit more tart before it's actually cooked, so it's going to be a really subtle lemon flavor when we actually cook the pie. So the next thing we're going to do is make our meringue. So I'm going to set these aside, and I've had my egg whites sitting at room temperature because that helps make your meringue a little fluffier. So I'm going to pop in my whisk attachment for my mixer, and I'm just going to go ahead and whisk all of the egg whites. Now I have found that it's easier to use or it's better to use a metal bowl for your meringue. It just really, I don't know what it is about the metal bowl, it just whips that meringue up really, really nice and fluffy really, really easily. The next best thing is a glass bowl, which is what we're going to use today. So we're just going to put this on high. And you really want to kind of use the edge of your bowl in order to whip up that meringue. I'll try to kind of do this. About 3 to 4 minutes to get a good whip on your meringue. So you'll notice it's starting to get really frothy. Getting really frothy. I'm going to start adding the extra ingredients to kind of flavor it. So I'm turning this off just so you can hear me. I'm going to put in some powdered sugar. Now usually I just do 1 or 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of powdered or granulated sugar, but today I'm going to use powdered sugar, so I'm probably going to use maybe twice as much as I usually use, just because I'm trying something different. So I'm going to go ahead and whip this up. Then I'm going to do a splash of vanilla and a little touch of the cream of tartar. Meringue all over the place. That's why you wear an apron. Okay, so I'm going to put a splash of vanilla in and just a teensy bit of cream of tartar. Just a little bit, just because it's going to help kind of with the consistency. And powdered sugar has cornstarch in it, so that's kind of something that will help stiffen your meringue as well. I'm going to throw in maybe a couple more teaspoons, and then we're going to test it out. And you really just want to make sure you take it all the way around your bowl so that all of your ingredients get blended in there really well. As you can see, that's kind of a nice, fluffy, cloudy meringue. Let's test it out. Look at how whipped and pretty it is. Oh, that's so good. It's like marshmallow, fluffy goodness. I think I will add a splash more vanilla. Now, you know, one of the things I never do is measure things. It was the hardest thing I had to do that cookbook, because I had to actually measure everything. So you added a splash more vanilla. And now our meringue is just beautiful. All right. So now we're going to take this, look at this meringue, guys, it's amazing. So it's nice and fluffy and whipped and pretty. And what we're going to do is now we're going to top our little mini babies. And I'm just going to pour it in with my spatula. Now your meringue should be stiff enough that it moves, but it should still be pretty fluffy and kind of creamy. And it should still have a little bit of, I don't want to say run, but it should be able to move. So we're just going to dollop these on. Now I'm just going to do one so you can see it. So we've got one little guy and we kind of put it on there, but what we're going to do is just take our little spatula and make sure we keep that little peak. We want it to be nice and pretty, but we're just going to kind of work it to the edge of the crust and make sure that we still got like a pretty presentation for our meringue. And then you can just kind of swoop that and whip it all together. We're going to finish doing those. We're going to pop them in the oven, and then I'll show you when we're done. We're going to put them in the oven for 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes until your meringue is golden brown, and then I'll show you the rest later. All right, so it's time to pop our little mini pies out of the oven. Oh, they look so pretty! So look at how nice and fluffy that meringue got. Ooh, so pretty. These are going to be so tasty. So we've ended our timer. All right. We've baked them for 15 minutes. The meringue has gotten nice and fluffy, nice and golden brown. We're going to let them sit out for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to chill them for about 3 hours, or you can chill them overnight, but once they're nice and cold, that's the best way to serve them. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this episode of The Dinner Bell. Make sure you visit our website, discoverkcu.org/shop, so that you can get a copy of the Dinner Bell cookbook or any of the other books that we've written. If you want, you don't have to wait for it to be shipped to you from Amazon. You can get an e-copy of every book that we have, but particularly the Dinner Bell. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you like, subscribe to Ask Me TV, share with your friends. And if you ever make anything that I have made, if you ever test out any of our recipes, make sure you send me a picture. Make sure you send me a text message. Some people have been doing that and they've let me know that they've enjoyed what we've made, but I want to see your dishes. Well, love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bon appetit.